Hello, I'm Pete Martin. This Barry Harris for Mandolin series teaches the jazz improvisation method of pianist Barry Harris applied to the mandolin. If you would like to see more videos in this series, or other videos of mandolin, fiddle, improvisation, and other subjects, subscribe to my channel. Click the bell icon to be notified of new videos. This series of videos is designed to be viewed in order as concepts build on previous videos. If you're new to Barry's ideas, I suggest you go back and start with the first video in the series, the link of which is above. There's a PDF file that goes with this video, so email and ask for Barry Harris for Jazz Mandolin number 16, Melodic Minor Half-Step Rules. In this video series, I will show and demonstrate in the key of C minor in first position. Students should learn these in all keys and all positions of the mandolin. Barry stresses what he calls playing rhythmically, which is playing eighth notes and putting the note of the current chord on the beat most of the time. In previous videos, we've seen how to do this on dominant and major scales, and we also saw how bebop players add half steps to the dominant and major scales for more chromatic sounds. In this video, we do exactly the same thing on the melodic minor scale. Once again, as is more common, we will do this on the descending scale. If we add one half step between 6 and 5 on the descending scale, the notes become 7-6, flat 6 or sharp 5, 5-4, flat 3, 2-1. Notice that every other note is 1, flat 3, 5, and 6, which are the notes of a minor sixth chord, which is one of the two tonic minor chords in jazz, the other being the minor major 7. So let's do this for C minor. In example 1, we start on the root and descend the melodic minor scale, adding a half step between 6 and 5. In example 2, we start on this flat 3 and insert the same half step between 6 and 5. In example 3, we start on the 5th and insert the same half step. Example 4 has something we need to look at. When we descend the melodic minor scale starting on 7, we descend one octave before adding in that half step. I do that in example 4. In the first measure of example 4, the notes B, G, E flat, and C are on the beat. Those 4 notes make the minor major 7th chord, the C minor major 7th. So no extra half steps are needed. In the descending second octave, we add the half step between 6 and 5, which puts the notes A, G, E flat, and C on the beat, which is the C minor 6th chord. Just like the dominant and major scales, we can also add 3 half steps when starting on 3, 5, and 7. These are between 6 and 5, flat 3 and 2, and 2 and 1. There is no half step in between flat 3 and 2, so we play this as any other note. We saw this same idea in video 11 on Barry's chromatic scale, so review that video if you need to. I show this starting on the third in example 5. Example 6 shows this starting on the 5th. Example 7 shows this starting on the 7th degree of the scale. Notice we're doing the same thing as in example 4 by not inserting the half step between 6 and 5 until the 2nd octave. If you like the material presented here, you may be interested in some of the 13 instruction books I've written for fiddle, mandolin, and improvising. I'm also available for private lessons in Seattle and Issaquah, Washington, or online through Skype and FaceTime. Check these out at either of my websites, which is jazz-mandolin.com or petamarpress.com. Also, consider a small donation via PayPal at my email address shown here. Anytime we start the scale on the 2, 4, or 6, we insert no extra notes. This is melodic minor scale rule number 3. If we start on the 2nd, we descend straight down the scale. This is example 8. If we start on the 4th, we descend straight down the scale with no extra half steps. This is example 9. If we start on the 6th, we descend straight down the scale with no added half steps. This is example 10. Rule number 4 is anytime we start the scale on 2, 4, or 6, we insert extra half steps between 2 and 1 and 6 and 5. This is melodic minor scale rule number 4. If we start on the 2nd, we descend the melodic minor scale, adding half steps between 2 and 1 and 6 and 5. This is example 11. If we start on the 4th, we descend the melodic minor scale, adding extra half steps between 2 and 1 and 6 and 5. This is example 12. If we start on the 6th, we descend the melodic minor scale, adding extra half steps between 2 and 1 and 6 and 5. This is example 13. One thing to note, after we align the notes 1, flat, 3, 5, and 6 on the beat, we switch back to extra note rule 1 or 2. This comes into play whenever we run longer scales. So just remember that. When you can comfortably play these in all keys, move on to the next video. Remember to subscribe to my channel. I'm Pete Martin. Thanks for watching.